Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are doing a continuation of our mobile app. So we created a mobile app in .NET MAUI. So as you can see, our source code, we have an employee app. This is a simple app that we are actually demonstrating for those who are new to this channel. So we have the application DB context, which holds our databases and the database that we are connecting. Then we have our models, the constituencies, countries, employees, location. So these are our models, which some of them forms parts of our tables. Then we have our view models. So you can see we have some of the view models. So if you are new to this channel, consider watching some of the previous video because this is a continuation of our video. So we have our view models, and as you can see, we have also the views. So we have actually categorized the views into folders, the constituencies, countries, locations, sublocations, and villages. So under constituencies, we have a list of constituencies, which is a page in itself. Then we have the add new constituency, which is a page that will be seeing how we can add new constituencies. The same for the countries. We have a list of countries that is actually displaying the list from our table. Then add new country, which is a page that will actually be using to save new countries. So we have the locations list. We had not created the location list. That is the add new location list page that we are going to do it today. Then we have the sublocations and the villages. So how we have done that. So if you come to app shell, we have our views. So in the app shell, we have our views. So for those who are new, this is just a recap. So we have our views, that is the employees list, the countries list, the constituencies list, locations, and the sublocations and the villages. So this is how our app looks like. So when you just launch our app, it will take you to this page, which is actually a list of all employees. So we have a button here to add new. So if you click add new, it gives you a form to save employee records. So this is just a simple form that we are using to save employees data. So for those who are new to this channel, so this is just a continuation of the video, and you can consider watching some of the previous videos to get a clue of what is going on. But you can also consider subscribing. So after we have done this, if you click save, it will actually save the record. So if we just open, you will see we have the record here. So the same, we want now to do the same for these others. We have the counties list, which is actually a blank list. We have not populated. Then we have the constituencies list, which is actually a blank list, a locations list, sublocations, and the villages. So for the counties list, this is a blank list, and we have a new button here. You can see this is a new country. So if you click new, it will take you to a new country page, the one that we had created here. So this is the page. This is the page that is being navigated to. Then the same way to constituencies, if you click new, it takes you to the new constituencies page. So the locations, we don't have it, so we are going to do it today. The sublocations and the villages. So to begin with, how we have done for the countries. So if you just open the countries list, so we are using, so you can see here, we have actually used the collection view to display the list of countries. But because we have not added any country, then we don't have any record. So for the countries list, you'll see we have binded this to our view models. That is the countries view model. This is how we have done it. So if we navigate to countries view model, so I'll just open it. We'll just open the countries view model. So you can see we have an observable collection of all the countries. Then we have our add new country. So we are using that is the community toolkit MVVM. So we are using the community toolkit. That's why you can see we have the relay command here. So we actually decorate it with this. So I'll show you how you can actually do it if you don't want to decorate it or use the community toolkit. So comment down below if you actually have some recommendations that we can actually do. So this is the button now. Add new country button is the one that you are seeing on our countries list. We have it here. So this is the button that we have actually added, and it is actually a toolbar item. So we are having this as a toolbar item. So if we just come to our add new country page, this page is actually empty. So we can actually change the title of the page. We can say add new country. Then on our page, you see we don't have any records. So we can copy some of the fields for employees page that we had created. So this is how our employees page looks like. So we can actually copy this. So I'll just copy, can allow me. So we can actually copy that. Then under countries, we can have it here. So you can see this is the, so you can have these, we can get rid of this. Can have it as a stack layout. So this is the first field. So we can say this is a country. Can have it as country code. Then you can say this will be country. Then you can have it as a code. Remember that this should actually represent the actual field in our model. So if you come to our model and a country, it should actually be the exact naming as we have done here. So if you go back to country, this is the country code. Then you can say the placeholder will be the country code. Then this will be the country name. Then you can have this as a country. And one thing to note, I'm using country. Remember, this is not the model. So we can actually change this. We can call this country details so that you don't confuse this with the model. I'll show you how we will define these country details. So just say country details, then this is the name. Then you can say here country name. So we can do away with the rest because we don't need them. So here we can now have, this is the button. So we'll say add country command. Country command. So I'll show you how we define that command. So then we can have can say save country. So this is how our form will look like. So come to our add new country. So we need to bind this to our add new country view model. Another thing that you need to remember is ensure that you name your pages the same name as the view model so that you don't get confused. So as you can see, our country add new country page doesn't have a view model. So we are going to create a view model here. So I'll just copy the same name of our page, then create a new class. Then I'll name this add new country page view model. So this is actually now our view model for the country page. Then I'll do public. So if I come to our add new country page, I'll now define our view model. So I'll say view model. So I need to import this. Remember, it is under. So I'll just do this and say use app views. That is app view models. Then I can actually now do this. I can inject this here. Then I'll say model. Then I can say this. Those binding context is equals to view model, and I can also assign it to this. So after you have done that, what you need to do, remember you need to register that view model under MAUI program CS. And for those who are new, remember we are doing a registration here for our services, our views, and also our view models. So our add new country page is already registered here. So we need to register the view model. So we'll say services, then you can copy our add new country view model. So remember, when we click on the add on our countries list, if we click on add new country, this button, what it will do, it will now navigate to our new country page model page for us to add a new country. So if you come to countries list, so you can see it is navigating to add new country page. So if you come to add new country page, we don't have anything already defined on our add new country page. So this is how it looks. So what we need to do here, we can have So let me just borrow something from employees model. So I need us to do something. So first, I need us to define if you come to our countries, you see these countries details under the add new country page. We need to define it under our model. So I'll come to add new country page. Then I'm going to define so what I need to do here first, I'll say observable object. So this is property. Then I'll say this is our model now, which is country. So I'll import this first so that we don't get the error. That is good. So I'll say this partial. That is fine. So this one, we need to use the same name as we had done on our add new country. We remember these country details, but now it will be small letters. So we'll do this, then we'll say country. Then this will be our country. Our country. That is how it looks. So that is how you define so that is how you define the view model. So these now will be used to bind the data that we are going to create. But now we can have our constructor here. So we'll do public. Then we can do this. So create a constructor there. So then we can do that. So we can actually leave this. Can actually do that, just define it as it is, then you leave it as it is. Then these countries is the one that we are using here. So country code and the country name, then add a new country. So let me copy something for our employees. So this is the button that you are going to use. So this is the button that you are going to use under add new country. So I'll just paste it here. So I'll say add new country button. So I'll say add, or this is now saving. Say save new country. We're saying add, you can just use add new country. So this is our button. So one thing that I need you guys to do, we had created an employee service that we were using to save data. So you can see this is a service. We were actually saving data to the employee. But now, assuming we don't want to create, for every section we create a service to save data. So what I'm going to do, guys, on our, I think you need to concentrate here now because we are going to change our app so that it saves data depending on the kind of information that you give. So on our employee service, we are using this as employee service. But now I don't want to use this. I want to migrate to come to data store, our application context here. So we are going to use our application context. So under our application context, just outside the constructor, I'm going to say public virtual void. So I'm going to define the add button. So we'll say we can call it create. This is to create new record to our table. So we are going to use a T entity. So we'll supply any model there. So this will be generic. Then T entity. Then I say where T entity is class. Then I'll say, so do this. Then we'll say, so we are going to use our DB connection. So what we'll do here, we'll say we'll copy the DB connection here. Then we say dot insert async. So we can do dot insert async. Then we are going to use the entity. Then we can actually wait. So we are going to use this. So we can call this create async. So we are going to use this now to save our record. So we are not going to use an employee service that we have created here. So I'm going to use a generic. So I'm going to use a generic insertion. So if you come to our application, so this is it. So let's go back to our add new country page. So here I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use our created generic insertion. So how we are going to do that? So we are going to. So I'm going to remember this model. So to define now, I'm going to check to register something here. I'll say variable country data is equals to this dot this one. So I'm going to use this. So this should be country. So that is how it should. So define it that way. So because we are using this, we can actually, so this is the model here. So this is the country data. So we are expecting these country details to come with data from our form, which was this one. Remember, we have actually binded it here. So it will give us the data. So on our add new country, so we are saying country data is equals to this one. So then we need to add our data. So we need to create our data. So you can say app dot. So I don't know if we defined our, so come to app here. You see app context database. So this is the database of our app. So if we just come to our view model, remember, ensure you have defined this here. So come to add new country. So you'll say app.database. So you say app.current.database. So I think it's private. So we need to ensure that this is visible. So I'll need to define. So this we need to say this is public static. Then we can say get. Then we can have this as a private set. So we can have that. Then we can have as a database is equals to application db context. So you can define it that way. Then on our application db context, you can come to application db context here. So this is it. Then this is fine. So you should be able to access this here. So this is fine as well. So come to our add new country. So you can say app dot current dot. So let's see, database. I think that is fine. Then we can do dot create async. Then we need to pass in our country data. So let's see here. What is the issue? The issue go on. Let's try to build. So application. So this is the issue. So you can actually, this one we are not returning any data. So it should be that way. So let's see. You can actually use database. Yeah. Then we say create. So that is fine. So we are not returning anything. So we can actually try to see, we can try to have our, can try to return this as integer. So then you can say you can borrow something from here. So we can return this one to give us an int. So that is it. So this should be that way. So modify this to be DB connection, then dot create. Let me just, yeah, it was insert, so that is fine. So return this dot insert, then we can do away with the wait. So our return, it should be that way. So let's see, we have defined it. You can have this as task. Can have it this way. Let me copy this so that we go faster. So public async task int, then create, then return. So you can say wait. So you can do that. So it's refusing. I think that's fine. You can just do this because of what we have done here. So this is how it looks. So if we come to our, so we can now have as variable response so that we check if everything went well. So if our response is greater than 0, because you are expecting to return, so you can say country saved. So this is so we'll say country details successfully submitted. Else you can display an alert. You can say not country not saved. So something went wrong while saving with the country details. So this is our button. Let's ensure we have our button. So the next thing that we need to do here, we need to actually initiate our model here, because we want to be using it to save data. So because this is a new record, so what we'll need to do, come to our constructor here, then we need to, so here we can say country details here is equals to new. You can initiate it here, say new country, that is it. So here we can actually say country, this is public. Can actually do away with this, then we can do country, then we can say get set. You can also do that. You can do away with that. Then we can use these as country details. So then we say country is equals to new country. So if we try to launch our app, let's try to build and see if everything works well. Our app is building. So if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing and watching our previous video. So our app has successfully built, so we can launch our app. We see how it looks like. So our app is launching. So let's see. There we are. So we can see how our app looks like. So if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing, recommend us, and you can also inbox us for anything that you will want. So if you come to countries, so if I click new, it will take us to add new country. So you can see country code and name. So I want us to do something. Before we save, click here. We want us to debug. then we'll be able to see. So country code, I can say KE, then I can say Kenya. Then if I click save, you see our button is not hitting this command. So let's check what is wrong. So come to add new country page. Then we'll say here is, I think we should be add new. So it should be add new country, then command word. So you see add new country, then you add command on our page here. So this should be fine now. Let's try. If we save it and we hit, you can see it has come here. So let's step into. So if we check our country, we should be able to expect the details that we saved. You see, you have the code KE, then ID is 0 because this should be auto incremental. Then our name is Kenya. So if we proceed, it has returned 1. So it means it has actually inserted the data to our table, our table. So if we proceed, it should return a response to us. You can see country saved, country details successfully submitted. So if we go back to our, let's try something. If you go back to our employees list, then come back to our countries page, we should be able to see the country that we saved on this page.